Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about DevState, a tool that's designed to solve a massive headache for pretty much any development team out there, managing project state files. Yeah, I'm talking about that state.json file. If you've ever had a build fail just because that file was a little bit different on your machine versus someone else's, well, you're going to want to see this.
So let me just ask you this. Is your project's state file a reliable single source of truth? Or is it, let's be honest, a total source of chaos? We all know that sinking feeling, right? One developer's version is just slightly off and bam, the entire CI pipeline just grinds to a halt. It's the worst. And this is the absolute heart of the problem, isn't it? Mismatched state files. Any project that's relying on these local JSON files for tracking state and history, like .trae/state.json, desperately needs some kind of validation. It needs a clear audit trail. And most of the time, that stuff is just completely missing. And this leads to all the classic headaches. First, you've got inconsistent state just scattered across everyone's laptops, which makes trying to collaborate a total nightmare. Then, you've got no audit trails, so good luck figuring out who changed what, when, or why. All of this state drift, as we call it, just leads to one thing: failing CI/CD pipelines. And the fix? It's usually this manual, painful process of trying to figure out what went wrong, which is just begging for human error.
So what's the fix? Well, this is where DevState comes in to save the day. Think of it as this purpose-built, super lightweight HTTP service that's designed to be the one and only central authority for your project's state. Its whole job is to get rid of that drift once and for all.
So what exactly is DevState? Okay, let's break it down. It does three really critical things. 1, it manages your project state and its audit history. 2, it enforces this really strict no-drift policy. And 3, and this is the secret sauce, it verifies an HMAC chain of operations. All that means is that every single change is cryptographically signed and linked to the one before it. You get a verifiable, totally unbreakable history.
And, the real beauty of it is just how simple it is. Under the hood, we're talking a really straightforward architecture. It's just a Node.js HTTP server talking to a Postgres database. The whole thing is neatly packaged up with Docker Compose, which makes getting it running incredibly easy. So let's look at the core features. That HMAC chain verification on every single read and write, that's what gives you that powerful no-drift guarantee. It's the whole mechanism that stops your state from ever getting inconsistent. It also comes with some really simple import and export helpers so you can work with your existing JSON files, a standard health endpoint for monitoring, and it's all in a standalone Docker stack. It just works. Now, I know HMAC chain verification sounds kind of intense, but here's a really good way to think about it. It's basically like a tamper-proof digital ledger. Every time the state is updated, a new entry gets created, it's signed with a secret key, and it's linked to the signature of the entry right before it. This creates this perfect, unbroken chain. It's basically impossible to go back and secretly change the history without being caught. Any break in that chain is a massive red flag. Okay, the theory sounds great, but let's get practical. How hard is this to actually set up? The quick start is, well, quick. You can seriously have a DevState instance running on your own machine in less than a minute.
No, really, it's this simple. Step 1, you clone the repo. Step 2, you run a single make command. And step 3, you just ping the health endpoint to make sure it's alive. That's it, you're done.
And here is the exact command you'll use. It's just a simple curl request to the /health endpoint on its default port, which is 3180. This is just your way of asking, hey, are you up and ready to go? And this is the beautiful little JSON response you're looking for. Just a simple confirmation. Status, okay. When you see this, you know your DevState instance is running perfectly, and it's ready to start guarding your project state. Okay, so once it's up and running, you're mostly going to interact with it using these 3 key scripts. Import is for when you first start, letting you load your existing state files into DevState. Export lets you pull down the latest official canonical state, and verify, well, that's the real hero here. It just checks if your local files match the central source of truth. Okay, now this is where the real aha moment is going to happen for you and your team. Let's look at how plugging DevState into your daily workflow can just completely vaporize all those state file headaches we were talking about earlier. And here it is. This is, without a doubt, the most powerful way to use this tool. You just add it as a git pre-commit hook. By running that verify script automatically before every single commit, you basically create a gatekeeper. This makes it impossible for inconsistent or out-of-sync state to ever even get into your version control. Just think about that. No more broken builds because of state drift. Ever. And the applications go way beyond just pre-commit hooks. You can use it to enforce consistency no matter what IDE or environment your developers are using. It gives you that essential verifiable audit log that you might need for compliance or just for debugging. And of course, you can plug that validation step right into your main CI/CD pipeline as another quality check. It really becomes the single source of truth for your whole team. So, let's start to wrap this up. We'll go over the key takeaways and talk about some really crucial best practices you need to keep in mind when you're getting started with DevState. Okay, a few things to keep in mind. First, and this is absolutely non-negotiable, you have to secure your HMAC secret in production. The default one is just for development. Seriously. Also, remember, DevState is for state and audit, not for super heavy, high-frequency transactional stuff. And like with any service, keep your configs in sync and keep an eye on that health endpoint. So, if you're gonna remember just one thing, let it be this. DevState solves that painful problem of state file drift by giving you a service that's simple to run, cryptographically verifiable, and creates a crystal clear, unchangeable audit trail for every single change. And that really brings us to the end. So the only question left is, are you ready to finally move your project state from a source of chaos to a reliable, verifiable source of truth? If you are, go check out the DevState repository and get started. Thanks so much for watching.